Hi and welcome to this Tough Talk presented from the Women Deliver Conference in Copenhagen. I'm Ridi Tlhabi. The digital age has brought many opportunities but also new challenges. In the studio, I have with me Emma Halton, who was subjected to so-called revenge porn as a teenager. Naked photos of her were spread all over the internet. When authorities did not take her case seriously, her response was bold. To reclaim power over her body and image, she posted her own naked photos online. She joins me now. Welcome.
Hello.
Tell me what happened to you and why did you react in the manner in which you did?
What happened to me was that my email was hacked and I had naked photos in my email inbox or outbox that I had shared with a boyfriend. And when this happened to me, I was very surprised at the reaction that victims like me got from the general public. People were asking, you know, we been stupid to take naked pictures, or were we, you know, narcissistic or exhibitionistic or something like that. And the reason that I reacted the way I did was that I wanted to show that, you know, this is not about me being puritanist or ashamed of my sexuality or my body. This is about me consenting. So if I haven't consented and something is shared about me, then it's a violation, and I wanted to get the focus back on consent.
So you are saying for young women like yourself to express yourself in that manner sexually is not a problem, but such photos should not be spread without your consent. That's your argument.
Exactly, and I think that especially for women, and women all over the world have such a regulated sexuality. We're so scrutinized, our bodies are always, you know, we're told what we can't do and what we can do, all these things. So I think that in the private sphere, it is so important that we get to express ourselves freely and we get to experiment with our sexuality and our body and intimacy. And if we're violated in that private sphere, I think it's very, very dangerous for women that they can't even feel safe there, you know?
I'm very torn about this, I must be honest, as a mother of daughters.
Yeah.
Because do I tell my child not to even capture herself in that manner? Or is it society that needs to change its behavior? I mean, ultimately, it's about finding a solution. And how do we find a solution? By telling young women like yourself to not express themselves in that manner sexually, or we tell society to actually reflect and change?
I think that that is the big question, and something that I ponder a lot as well. You know, is it dangerous to even do this? And I think that what I've reached, the conclusion that I've reached from speaking to, you know, hundreds of young people about this, is that, you know, taking intimate photographs is a thing that's here to stay. And they're not going to stop doing it. I'm sorry, they're just not going to stop doing it. So what we have to do now is ask ourselves, how do we secure this material and make sure that if a violation happens, that the damage is minimal. So I feel with naked pictures is the same as other types of sexual intimacy or whatever, is that it's gonna happen. And even as a mother, you know, you don't want to think about it, but it's gonna happen even for your children as well. So what we can do is, how do we then make it safe when it happens?
I mean, you're very bold in the aftermath, and you've used this to heighten awareness and to fight back as boldly as you possibly can. But take me back to those early days after you realized you've been violated in that manner. How did your life change?
It is something that I often feel like I lack the words to describe what it feels like to be violated in that way. It feels like you've lost complete control of your own identity and your own body, that something very central has been taken from you. And not only that, but you also have to deal with the harassment and the threats and the blackmailing that follows, because many people write to you, you know, if you don't do this and this, I'm going to send the pictures to your parents. People come to your house. It's a complete loss of control of yourself.
Were you called names?
Yes, of course. It's very violent. It's very. There is a sense when this happens to young women, especially, that once it's happened, they've lost so much respect that people feel like it's open season on them. You can call them whatever. You can do whatever to us. Because I think we still very much, in every culture on earth, have this idea of, you know, the whore and the Madonna, you know, the pure and the good woman and the bad woman and the dirty woman. And what happens when you're a victim of revenge porn is that you're the dirty woman. You're a woman that people are free to harass, they're free to say whatever to you. And being treated that way is just, the big fear is that you start believing what they're saying, you know, you start believing that you're not worth anything, that you're cheap, that you don't have any value. And I wanted to send a message that was not true.
But how did you reach that point, the transformation from feeling worthless to taking back your own power? How did you overcome that?
I think what was that took a very long time from this happened till I did the consent project, which the new pictures are called, was 3 years of very, very intense, you know, emotional labor. And I think what really mattered to me was engaging with feminism. That's what happened, that I came to understand that, you know, actually this wasn't about me per se or my personality or my body, but about a fraught relationship with female sexuality that we have, and that people use these notions of the whore and the Madonna to gain power over women. And understanding that this was actually a political and structural problem and not something that related to me personally was something that really empowered me to say, you know what, this is a political thing that I can fight against and not something that I have to hide.
How do we best then support young women like yourself who find themselves in this situation? Is it through education? Is it through putting technological measures to curb this practice? What do we do?
I think we need to have a very multidisciplinary approach. There are so many things that can be bettered. I think we need to take technological steps, and we need to empower police forces to take this matter seriously, so that people who do this know that they can be, you know, punished for it, because right now there isn't even punishment to most people who do this. But I think one of the most important things, if you do know someone that this has happened to, is to make the victim know that it's not their fault. And you know that they haven't lost value and they're still very much worth every measure of respect. Because what you feel as a victim very often is that you're afraid of who respects you still. You're afraid that you've lost value. You're afraid that people won't look at you the same, won't feel that you're the person that you used to because they've seen this intimate part of you. And I think that the solidary thing and the feminist thing to do is to support these women and let them know that you know who should be ashamed, and it's never the victim.
Well, there's certainly no doubt that you've taken back your power, and I'm very grateful that you could speak to us today. Thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for joining us for this Women Deliver Tough Talk. You can tweet your comments and questions about this and our other segments using the hashtag WDLive, and don't forget the Twitter handle itself @Women Deliver. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.